Подразделениями группировки войск-центр под командованием генерал-полковника Андрея Мордвичева взят под полный контроль город Авдеевка Донецкой Народной Республики, являвшийся мощным оборонительным узлом вооруженных сил Украины.
This announcement by Russia confirmed a big fear of America and its allies. Avdiivka, a very important link in Ukraine's defensive chain, was captured by Russia 2 days ago. It was Russia's biggest military victory in Ukraine in almost a year. In the hours and days that have followed, shock, distress, and panic appear to have gripped Western powers. A complete Russian victory in Ukraine does not seem impossible anymore. Along with this blow in Europe, the military deterrence of America has suffered another setback in the Middle East. On the sidelines of the Gaza war, American forces have been striking the Houthis in Yemen almost daily now. But Houthi attacks on ships have continued and even gotten bigger. Just today, the Houthis said that a ship they attacked was at the risk of sinking. And amid all of this, the US has appeared most helpless, not against enemies, but one of its closest allies. Israel has been publicly rejecting America's appeals in Gaza, from a ceasefire to Palestinian statehood. With America's superpower status taking one hit after another, its allies in Europe appear to be getting really nervous. So much so that some of the biggest members of the NATO military alliance are now talking about a new defense treaty, but without America. The call for a new European defense agreement seems to be led by British and French leaders. One of the most vocal proponents have been Valerie Heyer. She is a member of the European Parliament and also leads Emmanuel Macron's political group in the EU Parliament. Heyer recently said that when Theresa May was the Prime Minister of UK, she was discussing a defense treaty with the rest of Europe. Heyer said that such a treaty would be very useful, quote unquote, back on the table for discussions. Now, the French MEP has said that one of her group's biggest priorities is to accelerate European defense. A similar proposal has been made by a senior opposition party leader from the UK. David Lammy, who's Shadow Foreign Secretary, made the pitch at the recent Munich Security Conference. Lammy said that his Labour Party is now proposing a new security pact between the UK and the EU. He said this agreement is built on the fact that Europe is currently gripped by war. In a major declaration, the British leader said that the Brexit era is over and it is fundamental for Europe and the UK to have the closest of relationships. Meanwhile, NATO's newest member has said that it does not see any need to host American nuclear weapons. In news reports emerging today, Finland's Prime Minister said that this is because other countries of the alliance already have nuclear weapons. The security push in Europe is coinciding with the possibility of a leadership change in America. The US will go to polls in November, expected to be a contest between Joe Biden and Donald Trump once again. While campaigning, Trump has made his views on NATO very clear.
They asked me that question. One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay. You got to pay your bills.
This statement obviously caused a lot of nervousness in Europe.
Und lassen Sie mich aus aktuellem Anlass klar sagen, jegliche Relativierung der Beistandsgarantie der NATO ist unverantwortlich und gefährlich und ist einzig und allein im Sinne Russlands. Niemand darf mit Europas Sicherheit spielen oder dealen.
Te słowa Donalda Trumpa powinny zadziałać jak zimny prysznic na tych wszystkich, którzy ciągle lekceważą te coraz bardziej realne zagrożenie, z jakim się Europa zmaga. Musimy stanąć na własnych nogach, licząc oczywiście cały czas na pełną współpracę ze Stanami Zjednoczonymi. Ale Europa musi więcej włożyć w swoje bezpieczeństwo.
Valerie here had also used Trump's statement to push Europe to speed up its defense on its own. Since then, the current president of America, Joe Biden, has been in damage control mode.
I watched the television the other night, and one of the other Republican candidates saying, I've never explained to the American people why NATO is so important. NATO is critical to our survival. So the idea that we're going to walk away from Ukraine, the idea that we're going to let NATO begin to split is totally against the interests of the United States of America.
But the events in Ukraine and the Middle East seem to be ringing louder than Biden's words of assurance. Until now, it appeared that it was only Ukraine which had been abandoned by America. Biden is appearing helpless while the American opposition party blocks his funding bill for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. All that the president seems to be doing is making public appeals, while the US House of Representatives has gone on a 2-week break and put his funding bill in a limbo. But now even America's closest and oldest allies are not sure that being friends with the world's most powerful military is anything to boast about.